Ray, if Jillian and Frank are together, I really doubt that there's anything either one of us can do about it.
You expect me to just give up, to just forget all the work I've done to get him to marry me? Well, I can't and I won't. I love him. I have taught him to love me. He does love me now, and I'm not giving up on all of that.
You may have to.
No, I don't have to. First time I met him, he was with Jill, and I knew then that it wouldn't be easy, but I also knew that I could do it, and I did. I made him into a political ally. I made him into my friend, and then I made him into my lover, and he forgot about her. He left her, and he will leave her again. I will see to that. I will make him do that. And this time it'll be a lot easier, and it'll be for good, because now he knows what I have to offer him, and he'll come back to me. You see, he will come back.
Listen, I wish you all the luck in the world. I just don't want to see Jillian hurt. And he will. Whether Jill stays with me or not, Frank Ryan is no good for her.
Well, she's no asset to him, and he saw that once, and he'll see it again. I promise you, he'll... I just can't give him up.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be better in the morning.
Maybe so. Come on.
I told you so.
I imagine it hurt enough hearing all of that without my being smug about it.
I sat on the sidelines. I watched Ray move people around, according to her plans, getting them exactly where she wanted them, and then convincing them that it was their idea to begin with. Oh, how could I have been so stupid not to know that was happening to me?
Because she didn't want you to know.
All the conversations at the beginning about no commitments, no demands, all the ground rules. And that everything happening very, very relaxed, very naturally, very easily between the two of us. And the whole time I was being acquired.
I'd say it was a tribute to her skill.
Oh, I would love to lay into her. The truth of the matter is, though, Jill, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't want it to happen.
It's a pretty large admission.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I guess I thought about it a couple of times.
No. I would meet her more than halfway. She had a lot to offer. I wanted all of it.
She shared all those ambitions, and you cared a lot about her.
I did. I knew she was vulnerable, Jill. I just never realized she was that desperate.
She loves you. I mean, that's so clear.
Yeah, but it's the kind of love that it eventually uses you up, you know?
Okay, it suffocates. Maybe that's why it's easier with Seneca and me, because I knew he would always try to take control of me, and I had to run. I had to be free.
So did I. And I feel I am now. You know, it's funny, Ma used to say that things like that just don't happen by chance. She's right. Ray would never have shown that side of herself to me without Providence arranging it.
Ray and Seneca can work together, but they can't rearrange Providence. But they can do a lot.
Jill, a little while ago, you asked me if I was willing to take the consequences of breaking up with Ray.
I know that has to be clear now. Ray is an adversary. And obviously, it could hurt your career.
I don't think so. But let's, for the moment, let's suppose that it does. You know, a year ago, I had a similar choice. Maybe it wasn't as clear. Maybe I thought you were being unfair to me, but the fact is, I did put the campaign ahead of you. And I have regretted it every day of my life since. Now, here we are, a year later, and by some miracle, I have the same choice. You see, I know what it's like to lose you. So they can do whatever they want to. I just need to have you with me.
Oh, Frank. best night of my life.
So far. Did you sleep at all last night?
A little, here and there. I would start to doze, and all of a sudden I'd wake up. And you would be there. It was incredible. I mean, it was just, all this joy started coming rushing back.
It's so simple, isn't it? Jill, we were meant to be together, and here we are together, and everything else...
Everything else is going to take care of itself.
Why did we ever let things get so complicated?
Oh, I don't know.
We let so much get in the way.
Like Ray and Seneca.
No. I just meant more my ambition, my ego.
You know, what you said before about making the wrong choice, going more than halfway with Ray, it helped me a lot.
That's good.
Made me think that I ought to tell you that you were right about something.
Well, that's a comfort. What?
Me and marriage. That I did put up all kinds of barriers, artificial ones.
Thank you for saying that. You are so totally, completely, absolutely wonderful.
No, I'm not. But you are.
Well, I guess we both fit the criteria then.
What?
Well, I was just thinking that the very first thing I'm going to do when I get out of here, when we get to the outside world, is buy a plaque for that elevator. We're going to set it up, and on it's going to say, on this freight elevator, in the month of August, in the year 1979, Francis Xavier Michael Ryan and Jillian Coleridge Ryan were stuck together.
Yay!
For good.
Terrific.
What's the matter?
Nothing now. I just don't want it to end. And the sun's coming up.
Hey. We'll get through today.
Frank, listen, I want to tell Seneca right away. I want to ask him for an immediate divorce.
You're in for a fight.
Maybe not. Not when I tell him about us. He always said I never stopped loving you. He'll be glad to know he was right again. What about Ray?
Well, I'm going to find her. I'll tell her as simply and as kindly as possible.
Well, she may react like the proverbial woman scorned.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, we've got a couple of hours before the worst is over.
I wish it was over now.
Well, in that case, I propose we both get up, get dressed, head into the city, and face the music.
All right.
But, on the other hand...
What?
On the other hand, you're looking so good, and it's going to be a couple of hours before anyone is up.
True.
We've got a heck of a lot of time to make up.
No.
Have you seen him since you left here last night?
No. What time is it anyway?
It's early.
Tired. I haven't heard anything about Frank. Now, last night you ordered me out of your apartment. Would you please get out of mine, okay? Now, Ray, I'm going to say this once, and then we'll take the phone off the hook. If Frank is with Jill, I didn't make him go, I didn't make him stay, and I'm certainly not going to go fetch him for you.
I don't want you to, Bobby. I know it's not your fault, and I'm sorry if I...
Look, I know that. I'm sorry, too.
You don't have to say that. Get some sleep.
Ray, I haven't heard anything from Frank. That's the truth.
All right? If he's been hurt, I'm sure I'd have been notified.
Ray, he's okay.
Yes, of course he is.
Look, if it'll make you feel better, I'll check down at the precinct.
No. No, please don't, Bobby, because I do know that they are together. Look, if he needs to get this thing with her settled, it's better for him to get it out of his system now, before the wedding. He'll be back real soon. Goodbye, Bobby.
Ray, look, whatever I said before, you know, forget about it. I'm a little grumpy when I wake up in the morning.
So am I, when I'm rudely awakened. Unlike Frank, who's very... I've done him enough talking. We both need to get a few more winks. I'm sorry if I disturbed you.
Yeah, well, that's all right. And, you know, you're right about Frank. He'll be back.
Oh, yes, yes, I know. I know that. And I'll... Good night.
Good night.
I'll be ready for him.
I'll tell you what. Let's go back out. We'll float till noon. We'll come in, we'll eat. We'll go back out and float some more.
We'll get sunburned. Let's go to bed till noon.
Okay. Anything you want. Oh, I love you.
I love you. And I know that today's gonna be harder for you, and I'm sorry.
It's going to be hard for Ray.
Yeah? But then it's a good thing that you overheard what she said to Seneca. It changes your position. Even if I weren't in the picture, you shouldn't be with her.
I shouldn't be with a woman who was acquiring me for the last, what, 18 months? Is that what she said? After that, I don't know. Even if you weren't in the picture, I'd have left her. I'm glad you are.
What are you gonna say about them showing up here? You say something?
No, nothing. Ray'd feel like a fool if she knew we were standing on the deck with an earshot the whole time. Why make it worse for her?
Oh, you don't have a mean bone in your body.
I don't know, Jill. I've been had. I guess I'm angry about it. But I've been loved, too. She's given a lot during the time she was acquiring me. I'm just fortunate that I'm able to walk away from it in time. You know, though, for all her facade, she really can't handle rejection.
That makes me more concerned about you than her.
Hey, what can she do to me, right? No, she won't. She won't. Once I've broken it to her, and she's finished with the fury and the threats and... Well, I guess we better get it over, huh? Clean up our act.
You mean go back to the real world?
Mm-hmm.
Put our clothes on? Mm-hmm. Go back to the city?
Wait a minute, did I say all that?
Yeah. Hey, what? How about some coffee first?
Definitely.
Good.
I wish that this were the real world and Ray and Seneca weren't holding on to us. I wish I hadn't made so many mistakes.
We all make mistakes. And it hurts to fix them.
Yeah, but it's necessary. Go on.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. That has to be the longest 15 minutes on record.
Yeah. I've been with Jill.
I guessed. Why aren't we tragic this morning? How about a cup of coffee?
No, thank you. There's a lot I could say.
Well, I'd really rather not have a blow-by-blow description of your night, so let's just call it a prolonged farewell and skip the details.
It wasn't a farewell, Ray.
Meaning that she missed her plane to San Francisco. Fortunately, she can get another.
Ray.
Bobby called it a farewell, a goodbye. Frank is just saying goodbye to Jill. That's what he put to me.
It started out like that. Then everything changed. I went to her office, fully expecting to come right back here for dinner.
Yes, we were supposed to go out.
Yes, we were. At first, it was an accidental delay. The hospital elevator stopped between floors. We had nothing to do but talk. Afterwards, we needed to finish talking.
What a novel experience. I must say, elevators never occurred to me, although I did check just about everything else, except, of course, emergency rooms and jails. I was planning on saving those for this morning.
I know how you're hurting, Ray.
Oh, the hell you do. So, where did you finally finish talking? I'm really curious about that.
At Jill's beach house.
Well, I happened to have the idea to go out there to look for you. Seneca drove me. But it was pitch dark and the power was off and the house was empty.
Well, we walked on the dunes for a while. Maybe you came then. I'm sorry I left you to chase me down. I'm sorry for all of it, Ray. But the simple truth is...
You couldn't have missed us if we were that close. Didn't you see car lights or hear us talking or...
You asked me to skip the details, Ray. I think that would be best. I started to say the simple truth is that I belong with Jill, and I shouldn't marry you. But it's not that simple. It's sad and it's tangled. I've loved you, you've loved me. It hasn't been all good between us, but the love has been there. I know this is hurting you, and I don't want to do that, but I have to make a choice while I still can, the right choice. If there were a way I could say this painlessly.
I'm not in any pain at all. I'm having a little trouble following you right now. And I'm sure that that's just because you're tired and we're both a little upset. So why don't you take the bedroom and I'll rest out here for about an hour and then we'll try again.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, I simply must. You can read through the papers.
It's over, Ray. I can't stay.
Nothing is over. Nothing. Except your blindness about your feelings about Jillian Coleridge. Now, if you have finally acknowledged them and you are starting to try to straighten them out, that's what I've been begging you to do for months.
What?
I have been saying over and over again that you are still tied to her, and I've been worrying about it, and you've been passing it off as my jealousy instead of your problem. Now, if you finally stop doing that, then this has been worth this whole long, miserable night. Because now we can finally start to have an open relationship.
Look, I understand what you're saying, and maybe you're right to a point. We're not going anywhere from here. Not in an hour. Not ever.
You gave her a whole night to talk to you, Frank. I want the same thing. It's my right, and I demand it.
We've had every night for the past 18 months.
If you think I'm just gonna let you walk out of my life, you are out of your mind.
Look, Ray, the pain is too fresh, the anger is too strong. Now, later on, when you're ready...
No. No later on, right now. You are confused about this situation, but I am going to explain all of it to you, and you are going to listen to every damn word I say. It's all still on, all of it. Now, it's endangered at the moment because Jillian has showed up at the 11th hour, which I knew she would. Desperately loves you, as long as it looks like you're finally unavailable. Come on, Frank, it's her classic neurotic pattern, and you're just responding to it classically. But this time, it is not going to go her way, it will go mine. Is that clear to you? Do you realize that I am determined to do anything to save what we have worked for? I will do anything. I will fight as long and as hard as is necessary.
Oh, I hear you.
Do you?
Yes, I do. And I'm prepared to take what comes.
What comes will be a shared future for us.
In politics, maybe.
No.
Nothing else.
You see? Now, I would have known that you had been with her, even if you hadn't told me, because you're starting to try to separate politics and personal life again, aren't you?
They are separate, Ray.
No, they're not. Frank, if there's one thing this past year has taught you, it is that for you it's the same thing. They're all wound up together. The person you are as a politician and the person who gets you where you want to go is me.
Whoever I am, and whoever you are, we are going to take it this way. We are not going to get married. The plans are off. I'll help you call them off. We'll handle the public part any way you want. I'm not going to leave you with that burden. Ray, I wish it were different. I do care about you.
Of course you do. And I know how susceptible you are to Jill. Frank, I've been expecting this since yesterday.
What are you talking about?
I ran into her yesterday at Ryan's, and she told me that I was going to lose you, that I didn't love little John, a lot of daggers like that. I knew even then she was winding up for some sort of an approach to you. It was just her timing that threw me off guard. I didn't expect it. After our long afternoon of loving that was so beautiful for me.
It was for me, too. I should say the experience was. The purpose wasn't. I see. You kept me in bed, hoping that Jill would be on her way to San Francisco before we got out. You know, I hate to think how often you've maneuvered me like that. Sure, maybe I cooperated with it. I'll be a long time figuring it out. But it will never happen again.
I haven't maneuvered. I've loved you, and I've stood by you, and she won't do that because she doesn't know how.
I'm not going to discuss that with you, Ray.
Frank, she only wants you when she can't have you. Look at your history with that woman.
We're not ignoring the problems we've had in the past.
Well, what about the problem that she hates your public life? That she hates one of the most important parts of you? What about that?
Look, this isn't getting us anywhere.
Frank, I can't stop you from leaving this apartment, but I can stop a lot of other things, maybe everything.
I've told you I'll take what comes.
I'm not finished, Frank.
Goodbye, Ray.
You won't like what comes. I will be damned if it's going to be easy for you to get away from me.
Yeah, it's me.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry if you were worried about me.
Well, what happened?
A lot happened. I had a change of plans.
You're not leaving?
Well, I'm not going to San Francisco. All of that's out, but the rest, you and I, it's the same. Now, I know that you have to go to the hospital, so why don't you call me later and we'll go over everything?
No. We'll get it straight right now. Yesterday you were all ready to hop a flight for a wonderful new life. Now, all that's out. I want to know why.
All right. Something, very ordinary happened, and something amazing came out of it. I got stuck on an elevator between floors. And, I just stood there. I had cleared out my office, went to the elevator, and then I stayed there. That's why I didn't come back for my bags, and I didn't make my plane. Just stood still for a while. And then everything changed.
Yeah, you weren't stuck on an elevator all night.
No. The other part of the picture is Frank.
I knew it.
Yeah, well, I thought you might.
I almost predicted it. Every major decision you've made has been a reaction to Frank Ryan.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me a couple of times.
Oh, tell me all about it, Jillian. I'm fascinated.
You mean tell you how right you are?
If it comes to that, yes.
It doesn't. Oh, sure, some of your ideas certainly hit home. The fact that I was running away, denying old problems, old feelings, letting them push me around.
That's right. Pushing you away from me. Blaming me for what you did to yourself. Go on.
So I did think a lot about those things. I should say we did, Frank and I. He was on the elevator with me. I guess that's when the amazing part happened, when we were together. First, having the time because we were forced there, and then staying because I was physically confined, then accepting it, and then choosing it.
What are you leading up to? Say it.
When I'm free, I'm gonna marry him.
Well, I can at least spare you that, Jillian. You'll never marry Frank Ryan. I'll never give you a divorce.
So the upshot is, we're back together. Bob, I'm going to marry her.
Frank, how can you do that? What about Ray?
Look, I've just come from Ray's. I told her and it was bad. Yeah, it was very bad. Bobby, we were just not right together. She landed me like a prize fish, and I'm sure I don't know the half of that story. But it was miserable to hurt her like that.
Yeah, well, I know that. You know, one minute I want to murder her, the next minute I feel sorry for her. Oh, she's got to be burning.
She is. You're wondering now how she's going to get me back, right?
Well, that's how she operates. She can make big trouble if she wanted to.
I know. She's probably dreaming up something right now. But the chances are she'll let it go. Political waves, for me, would almost certainly have to implicate her because we've worked together so closely. But the way I feel about it is, what the hell? I told her I'll take what comes, and I've meant it. Jill's more important to me than politics. I've made that decision once and for all.
Frank, you want to hold on to your career?
What do you mean? Yeah, I guess I've sort of grown fond of the Senate, yeah.
Yeah, well, then you better start thinking about Jill as a source of political waves. I mean, it could happen. It could be ugly for both of you.
You mean because she's married?
The senator's lady, adultery. Come on, man. You know what they'd print about it.
Well, we'll just have to be careful until she gets the divorce.
And when do you think that's going to be?
Be divorced. It all depends on Seneca.
Which means you can't even tell me if she's going to be divorced.
No, it'll happen. She won't live with him anymore, Bob. This past week, she's been staying with Faith. Look, Seneca wants a wife and kids. He'll hang around just long enough, and then he'll go on. He'll find somebody else. He's a kind of a guy who makes his dreams come true, systematically. But once he gets it through his head that she is never going back to him, he'll give her that divorce.
Yeah, okay, now how is Seneca about getting things like that through his head?
Oh, he's impossible, okay? You know that. Well, where do I take it from there? He'll give her the divorce because...
Hey, Frank, look, I'm sorry. Bug you again tomorrow. Come on. Go back to feeling good.
Look, I have to believe all the pieces will come together on this.
Right.
Seneca has a lot of things I don't like, but I don't think he's vindictive. Well, I don't think he is. Where on earth did you get this hard head of yours anyway?
I don't know, man. I think it just grew.
Well, why doesn't somebody hire you out so that you can think straight when things get rocky?
Well, I think somebody already did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get much sleep last night.
Yeah, yeah, that ocean down at the beach house is pretty noisy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a terrible racket. God, I love her. She is the only woman in the world.
Well, I got a feeling everything's gonna work out okay.
You do?
Yeah. See, in my experience, people don't hold out for long in situations like these.
This from the confirmed bachelor?
Oh, hey, an observer of human behavior. No, Jill, she'll get her divorce. You guys will live happily ever after. Cozy, boring.
Oh, I need boring. Please give me boring. I want it so bad I can taste it. Now, look.